Pro wrestling fans, pro wrestler has passed away. Brodie Lee, formerly known as Luke Harper, and other variations of that name, and a few other wrestling names. Probably a wrestling star for the last 15, 20 years, if you count the independents, which I do, has passed away. Age 41. No details as of now. And one of those things where what details can help. I mean, it doesn't matter how he passed away. It's just a sad thing. The day after Christmas, December 26, 2020. Apparently, he did pass away today. We don't know what the situation was. He was really on a career upswing until most recently was the AEW All Elite Wrestling TNT champion, was the leader of this Dark Order group, the Exalted One. And, people favorably compared Brodie Lee or Luke Harper to Bruiser Brody over the years. Was a big part of the Wyatt family, kind of the workhorse of the Wyatt family, to be honest with you, with obviously Bray Wyatt and Eric. And at the end, they had Braun Strowman in there as well. And three of those guys, and then the four of those guys were wrecking havoc and having six-man tags against the Dudleys and Rhino and I think Tommy Dreamer and just... I had the Luke Harper action figure for a while. I just laughed because it was a great action figure, so I just had a nice memory of that because it had like that Wyatt family look. So this is something I think I actually saw a young version of him wrestle at a DragonGate Pro show. I believe he was there years ago. So a guy who worked his way up, did the DragonGate Gates, I believe, did the independent promotions and got the attention and of the WWE, and like a lot of guys, put a lot of hard times into WWE and got some tag titles, had an intercontinental title run. But he was really just one of those guys that they'd push him for a while in WWE, and like a lot of guys, eventually just he just said enough, I can't be here anymore, and got himself over to AEW and got that nice push with being the Exalted One and doing kind of a Vincent Kennedy McMahon parody persona, I guess you'd call it, and then winning the TNT title, as we've already said. So the wrestling world is mourning. Apparently he leaves behind a wife and a couple of kids. Obviously, those people are going to miss their dad. They're going to miss their husband. Life is precious, folks. And as far as we know, this guy was well received and well liked by his peers, his colleagues. Whether he was a babyface or a heel, the fans, including myself, always liked watching this guy. I think he was, I want to say 6'8". That could have been wrestling height. He could, somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere between 6'5" and 6'8". Maybe was he as tall as 6? I think 6'8" was his height, but you can see in his matches with Cody, those were probably his last great matches here. His feud there with Cody, trading the TNT title. My tip of the hat, my respects to this gentleman, and my respects to his family. It's not a joking matter. It's a shock. 41 years old, by anybody's timetable, too young to pass away, and my sadness and my condolences to his family, and to you, the fellow fans. If you were going to say, Mike, can you recommend a Luke Harper match or a Brodie Lee match, I'd probably say, watch the two matches for the title with Cody, the championship win and then losing it back. And then I think, didn't he have a couple of defenses there against his brother Dustin in the mix as well on AEW? And then if you go back to WWE, I really did enjoy those six-man tags when you had Wyatt, Harper, and Gowan, Eric, the other guy. There was six-man tags. They were on Raw, I think, against the Dudleys and Rhino is what sticks out to me. They had like that going on. And I think they did wrestle the Shield, all three of them. So, just a shitty fucking thing. I hate to be a downer. This day in wrestling history, I was just talking to a friend of mine saying that today, December 26th, Bob Backlund lost the WWF title in Madison Square Garden to the Iron Sheik. And then 5 years later, Lex Luger wrestled Ric Flair at Starrcade 88. But December 26th, I guess, unfortunately, we now have a new anniversary, a really bad one, which is this passing away of Luke Harper. So once again, I'm in shock, but I wanted to pay my respects and do that. And just say this to the wrestling fans: Brodie Lee or Luke Harper would not want us all to, stop what we're doing with our lives. Unless you're his immediate family and friends, please try not to personalize this, folks. We do this sometimes when celebrities pass away, especially, if you're like a hardcore wrestling fan and a wrestler dies, you personalize it, you get warped up into it. Try to continue to have a good week. Wear your masks, socially distance whenever possible, because we have to get through this horrible time for our world. So, not to take away anything from Brodie Lee's passing, but the rest of us here, we have to keep fighting to survive, because we could get this horrible, god-awful coronavirus at any time. And I don't care what the statistics are. People, I don't give a shit. Try not to get it, okay? Mike Messier, Brodie Lee, R.I.P., rest in peace.